Good morning, my dear students. I'm back again. Today, I will teach you the chapter Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, from first class 10. Okay, take out your book so we can start with the chapter. Okay, my dear students, let's start. First, let's have some introduction part to the chapter, of course. In this chapter, Nelson Mandela tells about his struggles, how he was able to set his country free. Nelson Mandela, a great figure from South Africa, also known as Madiba. When he grew up, in this chapter he tells us when he was born, he feels that he is absolutely free. Everyone is free in his country. But as he gets more in age, he comes to know that he is not free. Neither the people of his country are. The chapter starts from when the inauguration is going on, and all the leaders, political leaders, they are taking oath. And Nelson Mandela is also about to take oath. He describes everything, whatever he sees, how he feels. He says that the military people, or the military is saluting him. Before few years, the same military captured him and put him behind the bars. He was declared as criminal because he was against the law. A word that you've been hearing, not apathy, is a word. The word means there was a lot of discrimination between whites and blacks. A section of a society of whites, they ruled over 300 years or more in South Africa. How his country was able to get freedom, what sacrifices they had, everything is being revealed in this. What he feels, okay? So, we'll study. Mandela becomes South Africa's first black president, and he was the first black president, colored black, okay, because of the racial discrimination. They were not allowed to contest election, they were not allowed to vote also. The basic human rights were not given to them. They cannot go out, they cannot open an account, they cannot let their children study in the same schools and colleges, they were not allowed to go to the hospitals. This was the discrimination done by the whites on black, okay. Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule, you see. Mr. Mandela, African National Congress, ANC, it was a Congress party, won 252 of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history, and he was declared as the president, okay. The inauguration ceremony took place in the Union Building's amphitheater. Amphitheater is a building that doesn't have a roof and stairs, okay, doesn't have a roof and where people get collected. In Pretoria, today attended by politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world. Now, why this is important? Because of the system of apartheid, blacks and whites, a lot of countries, they didn't keep any relationship with South Africa. So now all the dignitaries, as the blacks have won the election, they have come to take part in that ceremony, okay. Never again this beautiful land experienced the oppression of one by another. He said, no one will be oppressed or suppressed by another person, said Nelson Mandela in his address when we say something, okay. Jubilant scenes, jubilant means happy, on the streets of Pretoria, followed by the ceremony with blacks, whites and colorates celebrating together. More than 1 lakh South African men women and children of all races sang and danced with joy. Now we'll start with the chapter then. 10th May, dawn bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged. Besieged means to be surrounded with or covered with by the dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. This is what Madiba is saying, Nelson Mandela. Okay. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. This was the first time that so many international leaders were coming on South African soil. Okay. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre. Amphitheatre, I told you, a building without a roof, with many rows of seats rising in steps. Formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria, Pretoria is an empty place. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy. Now, that amphitheatre was controlled by the whites. Okay, now it is mixed, whites and blacks are there, but now the government is of black, okay. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democracy, government of the people, for the people and by the people, non-racial government. This was the first non-racial government. The election was, held, contested, and the best party, 252 seats, was able to be attained by this National Congress. So, Madiba will become the president. Okay. On that lovely autumn, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani. Zinani was also present there. On the podium means dais, Mr. de Klerk was the first sworn in as second deputy president. He was the second deputy president, Mr. de Klerk. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, and his turn came, who's Nelson Mandela. Okay. I pledged to obey and uphold the Constitution. Constitution is the framework by which the country is run. As we also have a written Constitution, we abide by the rules and regulations. Everyone has to. Okay. That is a written Constitution. Rules and regulations that are to be followed by the citizen of a country is said to be the Constitution. And to devote myself to the well-being of a republic and its people, to the assembled guests and the watching world, I said. Now, whatever he said, it is written. Today, all of us, by presence here, confer means to give glory and hope to live on liberty. Liberty is freedom out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. He said. Now, when they were under this whites rule, it was a disaster for them. Something that is unpleasant, very unpleasant. Must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Now, we have come out from there and we've been victorious. So, all the human race should feel proud of us, our race, of course. We, who were outlaws not so long, have today been given the rare privilege to be the host is opposite to guest, to the nations of the world on our own soil. Now, when we've been able to call everyone on our soil, all the dignitaries here, we thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory of justice, for peace, for human dignity. The human race is dignified because everyone is born free. This we should know. No one has the right to take control over the other. We have at last achieved our political emancipation, that means freedom. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty. Now we will be free from bonding of poverty. We will be rich. Deprivation means we are not being provided, the things are not being provided, that is said to be deprived. Sufferings, gender means male and female discrimination, and other discrimination. Discrimination when people are being discriminated on the basis of color, caste, creed, all these things are there. Okay. Never shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. He says, now I guarantee that no one will be oppressed by the other. The sun shall set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. Now freedom will be spread on everyone. Everyone will be free. And then God bless Africa, he says. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in homage when you see something astonished. It is pleasant and astonished. As a spectacular array, an impressive display of South African jets, formation over the Union buildings. It was only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military loyalty to the democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. It is freely and fairly elected, so it was a tribute from the military force, you must have seen. Only moments before, the High General of the South African Defence Force released the chest bedecked, covered, the meaning of the word bedecked is covered with ribbons and medals from gone by days. You must have seen the people from military and police also, they put medals especially for the occasion that has been earned by them, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. They said we'll be loyal to the country, okay, towards the country and towards the government also. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. That before, few years before, you must know that almost for 30 years he was put behind bars who Nelson Mandela was. And then he says now these military people, generals, they are saluting me. Before few years, they took him as a criminal and put him behind bars. Finally, a chevron of Impala, a pattern in V. Impala is said to be a jet. They came in V-shape, left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems. Two national anthems, normally they have one, they have two. And the vision of the white singing. White's national anthem was this, Soki, Sikelel, A Africa, and black singing Die Stem. So both national anthems were sung there. Both were not knowing, whites were not knowing black anthem, blacks were not knowing white anthem, but the day will come, slowly they will learn by heart his national anthem. Okay. On the day of inauguration, I was overwhelmed means too happy with the sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo means people belonging from England, Boer means African farmer. They had a war, okay, among themselves. And before my own birth, the war was before the birth of Nelson Mandela. So this prejudice or discrimination on white and black was for years and years everywhere. It's not only in Africa, it was in other parts of the world also. The white-skinned people of South Africa patched up their differences and injected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. One land people, whites, they tried to, or they were dominating the blacks of that area. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhuman, not human, society the world has ever known. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own 88th decade as a man, that means he was almost 80 years of age, the system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedom of all the people regardless of the colors of their skin. Now everyone is free. If you have the caliber, if you have the potential, if you have the caliber capacity, you will be moving ahead in life. It's not a system of black and white. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices. You cannot imagine the sacrifices that was made by thousands and thousands of the people of South Africa. They gave away their life. Suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. You cannot count the sufferings, whatever they faced, or you cannot repay them. I felt that day, as I had on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots. Patriots means a person who thinks for his country, Deshbhakt, who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with you. The line ended and now again the line has started for me as a patriot, he said. I was pained means deeply hurt that I was not able to thank them. He said all the people who have given away their life for the cause of the nation, the country, he was feeling that why he was not able to pay homage to them, respect to them, because now they are not there, they have already passed away. And they were not able to see what their sacrifices were of. Now they are not there, they passed away. Now he's thinking that they should have been alive so they can see now whatever sacrifices they have done that has brought fruit and now their country is free. The policy of the party created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generation, recovering from that profound hurt. Profound means profusely, that wound is there and it keeps on bleeding, that is said to be. But the decades of oppression and brutality, oppression, when someone tries to suppress someone, brutality is cruel, very harsh on someone, but another unintended effect. And that was that it produced Oliver Tambo. These are all the political leaders who was given away their life for the cause of the nation. Walter Sisters, the Chief Luthulus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Subuquis of our times, men of extraordinary courage. Definitely they had extraordinary courage, wisdom, brain and generosity. They were generous, very good heart they had. That their life may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depth of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals, he says. My country is rich in gems and minerals and all these things. But the real diamonds of the country are the people who give away their life for the cause of the nation. It is from these comrades. Comrades mean belonging from the same age group, you may say, partners, you may say, of the same work they are doing, that is, they are said to be comrades in the struggle. That I learned the meaning of courage time and again. I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. People I've seen many times, they have an idea and with that idea they have been killed because the idea is not being liked by the people who are running the nation. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking. I have seen people being beaten, mercilessly being harassed, but still they are resilient, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear. I came to know that it's not the absence of fear, but overcoming fear. Okay, you should be able to come, you should not be feeling afraid, but courage is when you overcome whatever fear you have in your brain or your mind. No one is born hating another person. He says, no one, when a person is born, no one tells him to hate someone. Because of the color of the skin, on his background, from where he belongs to, on his religion, people must learn to hate. And if they can hate, they can love also. And you can ask someone to hate someone. You can also ask other person to also love. He says, even in the grimmest times in prison, he says, when I was in prison, Nelson Mandela was, I would see a glimmer. Glimmer means slightest of light of humanity. Humanity means manata. In one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, he used to feel, for this Madiba, for Nelson Mandela. Why is he being given such a wretched life? And that kept Nelson Mandela moving. Like yes, if someone, even the guard who's on duty, he is having feeling for Nelson Mandela, the others can also have. So that shows that he was having some goodness in his heart. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. You can hide the goodness of a person, but it cannot be vanished. It will remain, it cannot be extinguished. In life, every man has two obligations. He says two obligations. One for a family, for your wife, children, your mom, dad, the people who are around us, the family I'm talking about, and the other is for community, for society, for the country. So there are two obligations. One, you should take care of your family, one, of course. The other is your community.